Coffee, cake, and camo would not be possible without the support of our awesome partners. Thank you, Lockheed Martin and SAIC, for being a force behind the forces. Special thank you to our proud partners of our outdoor adventure team.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Erica.
And welcome to Coffee, Cake, and Camo. Coffee, Cake, and Camo is a weekly podcast brought to you by the USO of Hampton Roads in Central Virginia. And each week we plan to explore a military topic, everything from the haircut challenge you've seen on social media to PCSing and everything in between.
But before we get started, we want to take a second and thank our USOHRCV sponsors, because without their support, we could not bring you this podcast or work to fulfill the USO mission. So special thank you to Lockheed Martin and SAIC. Thank you so much for supporting your local military community as well as your local USO.
In case any of our listeners are new to the USO, the mission of the USO is to strengthen America's military service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation. Alrighty, Erica. So we are going to start things off by chatting about something good that's happened to us recently. And in these changing days, it's important to try to find a bright spot each week. So Erica, what's something good that's happened to you this past week?
Well, Chelsea, what has happened to me? Thank you for asking. This past weekend, we had a long holiday weekend. It was Memorial Day weekend, and not only did my family, well, a group of us, got together to celebrate, the lives of the men and women that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country, but we also celebrated my cousin, who recently decided to enlist into the world's finest Navy.
Wow!
And we are so happy for him. So it was just, a really good way for the family to get together. He's my neighbor, my cousin, which is super convenient. So I just walked on over. We put some really yummy things on the grill, and it was, we were being safe. It was a small group of us, but I don't know. We were just really happy to celebrate him, and of course, the lives of the men and women that fought for our country. So pretty cool.
That's amazing. I mean, okay, he picked the perfect time of year to join our great Navy. Good for him.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him. So
yeah,
it was a good time. But what about you, Chelsea? How did you spend your weekend?
So I had a great Memorial Day weekend. I actually went camping to Medoc Mountain State Park in North Carolina with my brother and his girlfriend, who are both military veterans. So it was really fun. Like we just had a really good time. It was nice to be out in nature. But I will say I did kind of forget, because I hadn't been camping since I was a very small child. I forgot how much I really hate bugs. So that was kind of my only complaint. But other than that, it was a great weekend.
Oh, I'm really happy that you're able to get outside and get some fresh air, although you might want to bring more bug spray.
Yeah, I did not bring enough. I think I need to get like an industrial vat of it and just dunk myself in it before I go outside the next time.
Yeah, he heard it here, folks. So if the price goes up, it's all Chelsea's fault.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking it all. I'm going to hoard it.
Well, at least you're being safe.
Yes.
In other news, today on our Coffee, Cake, and Camo podcast, we actually have a really special guest. It's our USO Outdoor Adventure Team Program Director, Michael Schwarting, who will be joining us.
Yes, and Michael is a longtime supporter of the USO mission. He's also a CrossFit Level 1 instructor, a father of 5, outdoor enthusiast, and quite frankly, a visionary. So welcome, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Awesome to see you guys. You guys are doing incredible stuff. I appreciate what you guys are doing for everybody.
Well, so are you, and we're just happy to be able to see you.
It's true. We've been home long enough.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, let's just get right into it. So Michael, as the Outdoor Adventure Team, or as we call it, OAT Program Director, can you first of all tell us a little bit about your background and then more about OAT's history and what you do with the program?
Absolutely. So 23 years of overall service. I actually did 8 years Army and then came over to the Navy, did 16 and a half years in Naval Special Warfare as an operator. Been retired now about 6.5 years. The cool thing is that I'm not the orchestrator of this program. This program has been up and running for about 3 years. A couple people with like-minded ideas got together and saw a need for this program. They got this program stood up, and they've been primarily cycling, swimming, doing a little bit of rowing, and just getting people outdoor, getting them amongst their peers. And athletically, there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. But also the key to our program is adventure. So we're really trying to tap into that adventure aspect. And so one of my jobs as the program director, I took this program over in January. And so prior to COVID, we had some really good inertia and energy going, and expanded some of the stuff. You're looking at goat yoga that we did at one of our events last year, which is incredible. And what's really incredible is not the interaction of the people with the goats, which is really cool, but it's the fact that these are actually family members. And so there's a huge healing aspect that's going on. There's some bonding, cohesion, and that's really at the core of what OFFA, as one of our events, but then also the outdoor adventure team is focused on, because one of the things I saw at my retirement, one of the things I said to myself was, thank God I made it. Like, I'm healthy, I have all my limbs, I have kind of all my faculties. But what was sad for me was looking out in the audience and seeing families that had been changed drastically because of, the last 20 years of 15 years of warfare, and families, dependents, and kids in particular also have been affected. So this is an incredible, one little snapshot into one of our biggest events, like Go Yoga. And we have brought on yoga as a major piece. There's a lot of history out there that shows how good that is for healing. We've also brought on meditation, aspects of, kind of getting your body under control. You've seen some of this on with one of our partnerships with Sorority of Sisters lately. So my job is kind of what Chelsea said in the beginning, to stay visionary and what we want to do is we want to capture as many people as possible. And, if you have just a small amount of offering, sometimes, I might not gravitate towards whatever, cycling or swimming, so I'm not going to be a part of it. So we're really looking into that. Also, just trying to think of, okay, what's really key to healing. And so, we're trying to bring some of those offerings on. So we're doing it. Go.
And that's super exciting because we just saw a picture of goat yoga, and it is so much fun to do.
It's
like,
the
not
best.
only is it relaxing, but you get to hang out with goats. And this past OFFA was my first time doing it, which was super amazing. So I know a bunch of family members will look forward to that. But what are some other OAT additions that we brought on this year, and some events that we're looking forward to?
Absolutely. So we have expanded the rowing. We have an incredible partnership with a local organization called Virginia Beach Veterans Rowing. Gala runs it, is like a world-class rower. So we've added more Concept 2 rowers, which are kind of the best rowing platform out there. But our rowing is also expanding to actually physical outdoor on-water rowing, which they will run for us. And it's a great way to get people out and about. We've increased our running events. We actually, thank goodness to a recent sponsorship with T-Mobile, we actually have just built out inside Little Creek at our location an adaptive functional fitness space for people who are competing for DoD, Warrior Games, people who have interest in Invictus. They can come in, have some adaptive needs. It's all set up for that, but that's also where our yoga and meditative stuff is going to be done. On the horizon, and only really on hold because of COVID and stuff, is kayaking, fishing, sailing. All these have incredible, get online, see the kind of the healthy kind of, benefits of doing some of these sports. And then again, just keeping, OAT is a peer-led program, and that's by design. It's very deliberate. Veterans, if you do some of the research of, veterans who have considered committing suicide or really gotten into some dark places, one of the main things that gets them out of that are peers. A lot of times, veterans don't talk to their spouses or their kids with stuff that they're dealing with, but they'll talk to a peer. So we're trying to keep the peer atmosphere and really just create a healthy ecosystem where people can come out and have fun, try some new stuff, compete if they want to compete, or just, just exist and be there amongst some really cool new friends and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we're so happy to have this as a part of our USO arsenal of amazing programs, and this one is definitely one of the most impactful for sure. So, what are some of OAT's core groups and offerings?
So right now we are heavy on cycling. We have an indoor kicker studio, which actually has 20 locations. This is a amazing piece of equipment and studio. This is used by Tour de France people. It's a a very expensive technological studio where you can bring in your bike and basically attach to a trainer and then interact, and the system will adjust your workout and speed and tempo based on the profile they have set in. But we do a lot of stuff outdoor. One of the things I'm focused on is if we're going to do something indoor, we have to be able to also move it to the outdoor. So we do outdoor cycling. We have a heavy triathlon following. We're standing up actually our first sprint triathlon. We have two amazing people local that have been kind of core members, Jerry Clay, who's a world ranked Ironman triathlete, and then Jeff Bayless, who's a local Navy guy. And they're putting on a sprint triathlon. We're going to basically have two different offerings, individual events and then family, because again, what we're doing with OFFA, we are always looking at the family unit. So it's cool, like the family can come and decide to do their first triathlon together, which is kind of fun to train for and be a part of and execute, obviously. Other cores are really running. We've got a lot of really great runners. But what's neat about that base is that allows us to move in a lot of different directions with a lot of the on the horizon offerings, which I'll just mention real quick. We have kayaking coming. It ties into some of the adventure race stuff that's coming as well. We're going to do some fishing, both on kayaks, but and then land. There's a lot of peace and relaxation in fishing, so we're bringing that on. There's a sailing circuit here, both for racing and then just getting offshore and sailing. There's a lot of benefit and healing there, and we're also looking at geocaching and orienteering. But those are both great for families to do. A lot of fun. And so the horizon's exciting right now. We've got a lot of things that we're considering, and we're just looking to create value and benefit.
And we're definitely looking forward to, military families and service members just enjoying all these programs or offerings. But, we need them to be able to be involved, and we also need supporters to keep our program going. So how can someone get involved with OAT, and how can, any supporters, I guess, keep the program running?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm used to kind of like just sharing our story. Somebody might call it groveling. We don't do anything without money, right? So and a big piece of what I do is just kind of tell our story over and over again, because it's a story that needs to be told, right? We just went through a large kind of holiday Memorial weekend, right? And that's kind of like the worst case scenario, people that are dealing with family members who have passed, right? Well, the reality is there's a lot of people who haven't passed, but because of what they've been, subject to or seen or witnessed or had to be a part of, they're really in some dark places. And so OAT is focused on helping some of those people. And there's a wide spectrum. We have people with visible wounds. We have people with invisible wounds. So if that's something that you're interested in getting involved with on a financial side, we're glad to chat with you. Or if you want to just get involved with it on some of the activity sides, that's what we want too. Because you think of 6 degrees of separation, and everybody has pretty much in Hampton Roads a connection with military somehow. And the biggest thing I want to be right now is an evangelist for this program, an evangelist for another aspect of this amazing brand called the USO. And now, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Now they're doing a podcast. Now they're doing all this crazy outdoor stuff, which is really beneficial. So you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. We put a lot of information out there. We also have an app that lists every event. We have an event calendar. We have updates. So that's another thing you can get in connection with the app through our Facebook and Instagram, or you can just email me directly. My email is michael@USOHRCV.org, and be glad to get back in touch with you and bring you into the loop and share with you, what we're doing now and where we're heading.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again, Michael. And I do just want to add that it can't ever be understated how life transformative and life saving, quite frankly, this program is. I know you know this, but for our listeners, we had a service member a couple of years ago who lost the use of his legs when he was on a deployment. And as you can imagine, when he came back, he lost the will to live. But luckily, a friend got him to join our outdoor adventure team. And not only did he go on to thrive, he actually won multiple medals for competitive hand cycling, actually, because obviously he couldn't use his legs. So that's the kind of thing that this program does. And we're just really happy to have you behind the wheel. We know that you're going to take this to new levels. So yeah, it was great to talk to you.
Yeah, and thanks for having us. And just in closing, we can't do anything without our sponsors. We recently just had T-Mobile come on board. Again, we were just a couple colleagues and I were sharing our story with them. They were so impacted. They actually heard about that gentleman and his successes as well. And they decided to get behind us. So We just thank you for consideration of our program, getting involved at whatever level you can. And thank you, girls, for what you're doing. Appreciate what you guys do and represent.
Thanks, Michael.
See you guys.
See
All right,
ya.
we'll see ya. Alrighty, so be sure to stay tuned for future Coffee, Cake, and Camo episodes that feature some of our furry pals and our local Girl Scouts.
And also keep an eye out for our outdoor adventure team's next episode too. Michael will go ahead and have his own episodes just concerning about the outdoor adventure team. So that should be really exciting for our next upcoming episode.
Oh yeah, we definitely don't have enough time in our podcast to talk about all of the amazing thing Oat's doing. So it's great that we'll have that opportunity. All right, well, that's all the time that we have today on Coffee, Cake, and Camo. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search for the handle at USOHRCV.
And don't forget to share with us some of your good news, or if you have an idea for our next episode, just hashtag Coffee, Cake, and Camo. And we also want to thank our amazing sponsors, Lockheed Martin and SAIC. Thank you so much again for supporting your local USO and our military community.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Erica. Stay connected and classy, HRCV.